Sometimes it's easy to get caught up in someone else's regret, to look back at a relationship or a friendship that didn't work out and wonder if maybe you could have done something different, if maybe you could have held on just a little bit longer, given one more chance, said one more thing to change their mind. But here's the truth I need you to remember. Their regret is not your burden to bear. It's not your job to carry the weight of their mistakes, the weight of their missed opportunities, the weight of their failure to see what was standing right in front of them. We get so wrapped up in the aftermath of their actions, replaying every moment in our minds like it's some kind of puzzle we need to solve, when in reality, it's not our puzzle to solve at all. And here's what happens when you take on someone else's regret. You start to lose sight of yourself. You start questioning your own actions, doubting your own choices, when the truth is, the choices they made were never a reflection of you. They were a reflection of their own insecurities, their own blind spots. Yes, they might regret it later. Yes, they might come back one day with their head hung low and they're admitting that they messed up. But that regret still isn't yours to carry. It's their burden, their lesson, their consequence. And it's not your responsibility to then fix it, to ease it, or to somehow make it better for them. Because while you're busy carrying that weight of their regret, you're putting down your own peace, sacrificing your own mental well-being, losing sight of what you actually deserve. We often get stuck in this cycle of replaying moments, thinking about what we could have done differently, imagining scenarios where maybe things could have turned out better. But here's what I need you to realize. Every choice you made was based on what you knew at the time, based on your own growth, your own journey. You cannot go back and change the past, and you cannot carry someone else's realization as if somehow that validates your worth. You have to let it go. You have to trust that you did what you could with what you had, and now it's time to release what isn't yours. And here's where the trap lies. We start believing that their regret is our validation. We start thinking that if they come back, if they show remorse, if they finally admit that they were wrong, then somehow that proves our worth. That proves we were enough all along. But let me tell you this, your worth was never up for debate. Your value was never tied to their realization. It existed before them. It exists now. And it will exist long after. So when you find yourself carrying their regret, replaying old conversations in your mind, and wondering what could have been different, I need you to stop and ask yourself, who are you doing this for? Because if it's for them, you're giving away your power, your peace, your sanity, all in the name of something that isn't yours to carry. We have to recognize that regret can be a form of manipulation if we're not careful. Sometimes people use their regret to keep you emotionally hooked, to draw you back into a cycle of what ifs and could have beens. They might say they regret their choices, they might express remorse, but if their actions don't match their words, it's not genuine. It's a way to pull at your heartstrings, to make you question your own decisions, to lure you back into a dynamic where they hold the power, where they keep you tethered to a relationship that no longer serves you. Regret in this sense can become a tool, a way for them to hold on to you without making any real changes. And here's the thing, when someone uses regret as a form of manipulation, they aren't truly sorry. They aren't looking to repair what was broken or to make amends for the hurt they caused. Instead, they're looking for a way to ease their own discomfort, their own guilt. It's easier for them to say, I made a mistake, than it is to confront the real work of changing their behavior or treating you with the respect that you deserve. They want you to focus on their sorrow instead of their actions. It's a distraction. It's a way to keep you tied up to their emotional turmoil rather than allowing you to move forward with clarity and self-respect. This type of regret-based manipulation often comes when they sense you pulling away, when they feel that they're losing their grip on you. They sense your strength, your decision to walk away. And instead of respecting that choice, They try to reel you back in with apologies and declarations of regret. It's their way of keeping you in their orbit, making you second guess your own judgment, making you think maybe I should give them another chance. Maybe they've really changed this time. But let me tell you this, if they were truly committed to change, you wouldn't have to question it. Their actions would show it without the need for grand regret-filled speeches. Real change doesn't rely on pulling at your emotions. It stands on its own. And here's where it gets dangerous. When we allow regret to manipulate us, we start to then internalize their regret as our own. We start to believe that their remorse is a sign of our worth, that their realization of what they lost somehow validates our value. We think, if they regret losing me, then maybe I was really special. But your worth isn't tied to their feelings of regret. It existed long before their realization, and it will continue to exist after. Don't let their remorse become your responsibility. Don't let their regret manipulate you into staying in a situation where you're not valued, where you're not seen for who you really are. Your job is not to heal their wounds. Your job is to heal your own. Your responsibility is to your peace, to your heart, to your own healing journey. And when you put down the weight of their regret, when you choose to let go of what isn't yours, that's when you start to feel lighter. That's when you realize how much space you've been holding on for someone who didn't even appreciate it. Someone who left you carrying their guilt, their shame, their indecision when it was never your job to do that in the first place. Think of it like trying to hold up a wall that's crumbling. You're there and you're using all this strength to keep it from falling, but it's not your wall to hold up. It was never built by you. It was never your responsibility. And yet, here you are, exhausted, drained, depressed, trying to keep it together. The moment you step back, the moment you let go and allow that wall to crumble is when you free yourself. You allow yourself the chance to rebuild, to find strength in your own foundation instead of propping up what was never yours to hold. When you let go of what isn't yours, when you stop trying to carry someone else's regret, that's when you reclaim your power. That's when you realize that it's okay to leave things unfinished, to leave people wondering, to leave them to figure out their own business, because you've already learned yours. You've learned that you can't force someone to see your worth. And you've learned that your peace is more valuable than their closure. You've learned that the best thing you can do for yourself is to put down the weight you were never meant to carry and walk away with your head held high, your back straight, knowing that their regret is their problem, not yours. You are not obligated to be the one who mends what's broken in someone else. You are not the person who needs to stay and clean up the mess left behind by their indecision, their fear, their inability to see your value. Your peace, your sanity, your well-being, they come first. And it's not about being selfish. It's about self-preservation. It's about knowing that you deserve to be in a space where you are loved, respected, and valued without the need for someone to regret losing you first. So the next time you find yourself carrying the weight of someone else's regret, remember this: you were never meant to bear that burden. It's not your job to heal what they broke. It's not your job to make it okay. It's your job to heal yourself, to protect your peace, and to let them sit with the consequences of their actions. Their regret is their burden to bear, not yours. And the moment you let go of that weight, the moment you choose to walk away without looking back, that's the moment you set yourself free. You don't owe anyone your sanity, your peace, or your forgiveness just because they finally realize what they lost. You owe it to yourself to move forward, unburdened, unbothered, and fully aware of your worth. And that's the art of letting go. Knowing that what isn't yours to carry never belonged to you in the first place. So in all, letting go isn't about being heartless, being cold. It's about being smart with your energy, your peace, and your sanity. You can't control someone else's choices or their regrets, but you can control how you respond, how you protect your peace, and how you choose to move forward. So let them carry their own regrets. It's their burden, not yours. If this message hit home for you, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Share it with someone who you think really needs it and who needs to hear it. And if you're new here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I've got so much in store for y'all. I promise, so much coming on self-worth and healing and stepping fully into your power. So stay tuned for all of that. I love y'all, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
I've been looking for you.